Looks is gonna get the man. But you know what keeps the man? Respect. He's always talking about why her and not me. Because she respects his shit. Because even when they have a heated debate or they're arguing, she has boundaries. The last thing a man wants to feel like is he's being emasculated and disrespected by the woman he's supposed to love. Facts.
You can go anywhere to get the lies, but I know you came here to get the truth. Welcome to the Alphasphere.
Welcome to the Alphasphere, the only place on the planet that's totally engulfed in positivity and totally submerged in alpha energy. I'm your host, Dr. BOA.
Somebody asked me, how can you get a woman to do whatever you want to do? They listen to me talking, and that will make you believe that maybe I don't have no women. Maybe I can't get no women. How can I get women when my motto is if she don't do what I tell her to do, I'm gonna cut off? And when you hear me talk on this content, you may feel like, man, that dude is really brash. He's obnoxious. He's pretty out there. So I can see how a woman would be offended by just the way he talks to her. So how can he get a woman to do whatever he wanted to do? Because I can't get my woman to do nothing. He say he can get a woman to do anything. I can't get my woman to do a thing, man. I got to argue with her about everything. Now, you may say this to yourself. You may say, I got to debate with my woman. Getting my woman to do anything is like pulling a shark teeth out with a pair of grip pliers, man. You can get a woman to do anything you want her to do if you word it the right way. If you word it the right way. See, you can't worry about what it's going to sound like. You can't worry about what nobody else going to think. Doesn't matter if you got to say, baby, do that for dad. Doesn't matter if you got to smack on her butt and kiss her to make her do it. Doesn't matter if you have to put it in question form. See, getting a woman to do what you want her to do is not about driving a slave. It's not about cracking a whip on her back. It's about speaking to her in the language that she understands. Every woman understands a particular language. Now, if you got a hood chick, you can't talk nice to her and say, you know, darling, would you please do this for me, oh sweet baby honey bun? You can't talk to a hood chick like that because she ain't gonna respond to it. She gonna think you lame. But you can't talk to a square chick the way you talk to a hood chick. Hey, shout, hey, let me go ahead and get you going and do that now. You holding out, wasting your time, girl. I'm about to snap. You know what I'm saying? You about to get boogied up in here. You can't talk to a square chick like that because she don't respond to it. So let's talk about some of the words. It's okay to ask your woman something in a question. If you know you're going to have a problem if she don't do it, as long as she does it, it don't matter, does it? As long as she goes and does that thing, you word it however you have to word it. It's the same thing as game. See, you'll do whatever you have to do and say what you have to say to get a woman, to get some sex from her, to put that woman to work in your life in a positive way. You feel like you got to be a pimp or you got to talk like a boss, or you got to, man, what you got to do is talk to people in the language they understand. That's the difference between a good coach and a bad coach. A good coach is about taking a complicated scheme, a complicated offensive scheme, and delivering it to his players, some who may be really young, and delivering it to them in a way that they can grasp, accept, articulate, and perpetuate. That's all it's about. When you're dealing with a woman, you got to understand. Articulation leads to perpetuation. If you articulate your message, articulate your demands properly, and then she will perpetuate your verbal demand into an actual act on her part. This is all you have to understand, man. It ain't about bossing a woman around. Every woman ain't built for you to be mean to her. Every woman ain't built for you to talk sideways to her. Some of these women so sensitive, you can't even raise your voice at her, man. Now they gonna shut down on you. You don't want your woman to shut down on you. If you want her to do something, you simply say it to her in a way that she understands. That's what learning women is about. That's what knowing women is about. That's why there is no pickup line that works on all women. Women are different. There are some men who got all the game in the world, but they can't even enunciate and pronunciate right. So women aren't going to pay them any attention. There are women in the world that matters to. You understand? There are women in the world that it matters to, that you swagged out. It don't really matter what else you got going on. You can have all the game in the world, but if you ain't swagged out, that woman don't want you. The bottom line is, whenever you got a woman in your life, or you want a woman in your life, you have got to understand that she's an individual woman. You understand? It's kind of like if you're dating a woman with a child or you're dating a woman without a child. A woman with a child has different needs than a woman without a child. The woman without a child has different demands on your time than a woman with a child. All women are different in every way, but the one way that men tend to look over is communication. You have to communicate with the woman in a way that she not only understands, but that she responds to the way you want her to respond. You may hear a man saying please to his woman. He could just be a man that was raised to be courteous to everybody. That same man could say please to you. But see, as men, we're so caught up in thinking that what we know is the only way to go that we'll look at that man and say that man must be a chump. Something must be wrong with that man. But nothing's wrong with him. Everything's right with him. He understands how to communicate with his woman. If I want my woman to come over there and blow your brains out, as long as I know how to tell her in a way that's going to get your brains on the curve, it don't really matter how I got to tell her. Anything verbal beats having to physically force a woman to do something. Because when you can verbally get a woman to do something under her own free will, then that woman has a desire to please you. If you got to force a woman to do something physically, that woman has a desire to keep you off her tail. Big difference right there. Big difference. A woman that's afraid of you will never be loyal. I can tell you that. A woman that's afraid of you will never be loyal. A woman has to want to do the things that you want her to do, and you do that by simply relaying them in a way that she accepts. This woman over here, you may have to say, hey, baby, come do this for me. This woman over here, you may have to say, shout it, handle that. This woman over here, you may have to say, hey, I need you to do something for me. Can you handle that for me, please? What's wrong with that? If you get the result either way. See, the problem is everything that you say, you got some beta male semi-giant gonna say, well, that's weak. It's weak to say please to a woman. It's weak to say please to a woman. I posted some on IG, man, with this cat on Ricky Smiley Morning Show, man. Had his wife on there, man. He had been tipping out on his wife. He brought her on air. He called her on air and put her on the spot and asked her to forgive him on there. Now, I had brothers talking about, well, a man shouldn't beg anyway. Hey, man, telling your wife, and really, he ain't even really beg or nothing, man. He just said he just wanted to bring her on there. Hey, man, that's cool. If you've been lying to a woman, man, and you hurt the woman, and you told a woman you wouldn't do it, it's cool to apologize to a woman. Man, I had so many cats talking about, hey, man, he a beta. He ain't no man, ain't never got no reason to be begging no woman. Hey, man, come on, bruh. Admitting that you was wrong ain't begging. But them the same type of cats don't have no luck with women. I can guarantee you, a man who felt like that man was begging, that man didn't say please. That nigga didn't say, baby, I'm sorry. That man didn't say none of that. That man said, I just want to bring you on here. I did it in public, and I just want to bring you on here and apologize in public. That's pretty much all he said. Then the rest of the people in the room started taking over. And somebody in there asked him, did she accept his apology? She said, yeah. He didn't really say too much in that to her. He just wanted to make the statement of doing it in public. But man, these brothers was talking about how lame he was, man, and how foul he was, and how beta he was, and, you know, is it right for a man to ever beg a woman? Hey, man, let me tell you something. What is right for a man to do is understand his woman. And that man knew that if he brought his woman on the air, he ain't had to say, baby, please forgive me. He ain't had to say, I'm sorry. All he had to do was say, I know I did this in public, so let me apologize to you in public. Because I don't want you to think that I'm afraid to admit my wrongs. And the woman was on the phone crying. And she said, she told the people, yeah, I forgive him when they asked. That's all he had to do. Now, any other man who complains about that probably would have been doing 10 times as bad than that. Worse than that, rather. Probably would have been all over the place, buying all type of gifts, kissing all type of feet, and putting his head all between all type of legs. But you know your woman. I can get a woman to do anything I want her to do. Anything. Because once I have that initial conversation with her and let her spill her beans to me and let me know who she is, I'm going to know exactly how to talk to her. And I'm going to talk to her that way. And you know what I'm going to get? Results. You know what all that rah-rah stuff get you? It may get you a temporary result, but they gonna get you a long-term dedication. When women are in my life, they there not for the season, they there for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? And if their reason lasts beyond the season, cool. But before they there for a season, they got to give me a reason. And they do that by doing what I tell them to do. And they do what I tell them to do because I articulate my demands. Articulation leads to perpetuation. And perpetuation makes by my side her destination. Speak to your woman, man. Talk to her. Talk to her. Don't talk at her. Talk to her. You know your woman. You know what she responds to. Some women like to kiss, some women don't. Some women like to hold hands, some women don't. I met women before, man, who in the initial conversation, they said, man, the worst thing a man can do is get them flowers. You know how many cats gonna try to get them flowers? You see what I'm saying? You got to know your woman. You got to know your woman. And if you know your woman, you shouldn't have no problem with her doing what you tell her to do. Stay out of your emotions. Stop trying to think with your heart. Think with your logic. Logically, you know what your woman responds to. If your woman responds to sucking on her neck to get her heated up, you suck on her neck. If your woman responds to you sucking on her breast to get her heated up, you suck on her breast. If your woman responds to giving you brain to get heated up, you kick back and let her do her thing. If your woman like to be romanced, you romance her. If your woman like to Netflix and chill, you Netflix and chill her to get her right. You understand what I'm saying? Because the ultimate goal is to do whatever you have to do to make that woman dedicate herself to your joy. Whether that joy comes from her doing things for you in your business, for her doing things for you physically, for her doing things for you financially, for her doing things for you mentally, for her doing things for you however she have to do it. Legally, whatever she has to do, you want her to do that. And you get her to do that by pushing her buttons. Your woman is a keyboard. She's a keyboard. Now you could be a sucker and go match that automatic key on the top that play that automatic built-in tune that's on there. Or you can break out your fingers, pop your knuckles, and sit down there and play whatever song you want to play on her because you know how to play her keys. That's up to you. And it should be up to you. And if your woman ain't playing the song and she ain't singing the song you want her to sing, it's because you ain't playing the keys right, homie. You ain't warmed the keyboard up right. You got to warm the organ up. If you want her to sing a Negro spiritual, boy, you got to warm the organ up. And that's the reality of it, man. So another thing I say is this. When you want your woman to do what you want her to do, you have to show her the proof of you having things done the way you wanted them done before. So you can't be do-dirty, sitting at home playing Madden all day and think your woman gonna do what you wanted to do. You have to have attained some level of success in your life. You have to be have accomplished something for that woman to believe that investing her time and energy into whatever you want her to do is even worthy. And if you've done that, once you've accomplished that on any level that's satisfactory, then you have to understand, man, that communication breeds understanding. You understand? Communication is the father of understanding. Shut-upness is its mother. So you take your communication, her shut-upness, and you create an understanding from that type of interaction. So, if you want your woman to do what you want her to do, tell her in a way that she'll respond to. It's just that simple. Peace.
Bitch want me to come through. She said she think of me when she with you.